Hello and welcome to the Midwest Motorsports F3 Challenge. We are at Homestead, Miami. As you can see, this is the season finale. We're going to wrap it up tonight. The points championship has been settled, but everybody is qualifying right now, 3.5 minutes into the 10-minute qualifying session. We're glad you're with us. Midwest Motorsports, midwest-motorsports.com is the website where you can register and check out all of our different leagues. Again, you can see the track map for Miami is up, 2.1825 miles. There are 15 corners. We're going to go racing in the high downforce F3 iRacing cars, 4 minutes in. We are glad you're with us. We are joined tonight by the Midwest Motorsports co-founder, Justin Thaler. Justin in the booth with us tonight. How you doing, Justin? Good evening.
Good. How you doing, James? Thanks for having me.
Man, thanks for joining us. I know you've been racing all season in the F3 cars. Taylor Montague showed us how not to rejoin the oval after going the on-road. But yeah, glad you're with us. You taking the night off, give everybody else a chance. Is that what it is?
No, I don't think so. Just something I considered. It's last race. Just kind of wanted to kind of get a feel for the other side and what you guys do, and kind of hang out, have a good time, and get to watch all our drivers here who are participating tonight, and I'll be rooting them all on, and it should be a pretty good race here. It's a tricky course, but looks like the guys are slipping around a little bit, but we'll see who prevails here at the end of the hour-long race.
That's right. 10-minute qualifying session and a 1-hour race, again, around this 2.18-mile track. Right now, Brian Coxon is just set the new fast time, 1:17.6. Max Bauer second, Rob Angus third, Taylor Montague fourth, Dustin Reinstedel is the top five. So I was looking at some of your stats, Justin, for the F3 season. Average start, 9.2. Average finish, 7.4. So that's one positive take. 17 laps led. Not a bad season. You participate in all the races. And I'd say that you also participate in some of the other races, too. I mean, trucks, Midwest Motorsports has got a very diverse group, 4 different series. It's got to be tough to manage and race at the same time, but you did pretty well in the F3 series. Are you normally an oval guy? Is road course not your first thing, or what's going on? Tell me how you do.
I'm more of a road guy, but I've had a really good season so far. I believe more or less in the Cup Series. Truck Series has been a lot of fun, but my passion is in road for sure, regardless of whatever car it is, as long as I'm on a track that I enjoy and you have good competition around you. I'm more of a road guy myself personally.
Right on. Well, this might be a good segue into next season, since this is the last race for the F3. You want to talk about season 5? Well, we got 2 minutes or a minute and a half left to qualify.
Yeah, our drivers elected to choose running the GT4 class for next season. We're really excited for that. It's not everybody's choice, but as we do here with all of our different series, we allow our drivers to help course what the next segment's going to look like. So this season they were able to vote on GT4, LMP3, and the Radical SR10, and the GT4 won. So that's what we're going to be racing, and we have an awesome 20-week calendar schedule. There's a couple off weeks sprinkled around some holidays, but we expanded the season by a couple races, so it's going to be tricky. There's a stretch there that's going to really push people to their limits, I think, but it'll be fun and challenging, and as long as we can get some turnout, get some retention of drivers, and hopefully grow our league with some new members this season as well.
Yeah, it looks great. I did see the schedule. If you haven't seen it already, you'll be able to see it on the Discord channel, of course, but also as we're winding down the qualifying here. If you wanted to mention anything about next year before we get this race underway.
We're just really excited to have that going on. We're glad we grew the league a lot this season with the F3 car, and I just want to thank everybody who's participated and stuck with us. We have a really good group of drivers in our community, and everybody's super willing to help everyone out, and whether it be different tricks or input, and we all build each other up in the road series. It's been a lot of fun, and we're splitting. We're kind of coming out with a pro and an AM split, so basically a lot of points being offered. In this season we're only offering the top 10, similar to the F1 scoring format, but we're opening that up, and we're going to have a pro and an AM split in the same race. So should be really rewarding for a bunch of the guys who are maybe a little slower than the front runners, and let them know that they're still in it for something at the end of the race. So I just again want to thank all our drivers and for participating and being here with us, and all the admins to help run it, and you and Colin for doing our broadcasts on Tuesdays.
Well, it's been a real pleasure for me to call the racing, and Colin has been a huge asset. Josh running the stream. Again, I want to echo those sentiments for all the people that make it possible to do what we're doing. Maybe we can ride along with Dustin Reinstell as he goes around the lap. Right now he's tucked away on the infield. This will be the Track Racer Track Tour if Dustin can make it around for the whole lap. He's headed now back to the back corner of the track, I believe. Nope, this will be turn 6 that he's heading into.
Yeah, this infield can be really tight here.
He's the yellow dot on the screen, so there's taking a little kink right. I'm sure that's flat down to another passing zone.
And smooth on the brakes. It's a really deep braking zone with a slow rotation left-hander.
Nice. And when do you come up on the apron, or he's pulled over. He's giving up the ghost on that lap.
Yeah, it's slippery coming out there.
You can see the QR code on the screen. That's our Track Racer affiliation. So if you have your cell phone handy, if you're in the market for any new Track Racer sim rig gear, whether it's a computer monitor mount or a mount for your direct drive or your seat, we'd appreciate it if you purchase it through using the QR code on the screen. Steve Hansel's giving us another lap around. Coming out of this track, now this chicane here looks like a lot of fun, Eric. Justin's. Sorry.
Yeah, it's he's diving in. He's practicing his pit entry, which is good to see. He was my teammate this year, so I'm pulling a little harder for him.
Right on. No shame in that. It's things he's not going to have your points added on, but all good. This season, I think that championship has been decided. Also, Max Bauer and Johan de Roy teamed up to kind of dominate the season. I think it's really cool. At the beginning, we had, I think, up to 40 racers at one race in the F3 series. Tonight is a different track. Maybe not everybody purchased, or the guys giving up the ghost on the championship decided not to race tonight, take the night off before starting. Maybe to get some GT4 practice in. So maybe the reason why we have 8 runners tonight, but qualifying's over. Brian Coxon takes the pole. He's had a good couple of runs lately. I don't know how long Brian's been in the league. Justin, do you?
Yeah, he's been around for a few seasons now. I don't know. I want to say he started in our maybe second season of road. So he's been here a while. He's been a good member and a great asset, and he's a familiar name.
Yeah.
Taylor Montague as well. Taylor's been with us from our inception of our Red Series, so it's been a real pleasure to watch him. He struggled quite a bit when we launched the TCR, but he really put in the time, and it's just so rewarding to see the progression of our drivers.
Yeah, I bet that is really cool. Still waiting for Max Bauer and Rob Angus to join us on the live grid, and there they go. So we're going to go racing here. We see the lights come on and then the lights go out. Again, congratulations to Brian Coxon for the win. Brian Coxon is currently 9th in the championship. 34 points away, and they're off.
Almost 4 wide here.
Here we go with the chopper cam. Look at that, Steve Hansel from 6th to 3rd on the opening turn.
Oh,
It was that Taylor Montague off the track already. Brian Coxon's having a little glitch every now and then. A lot of reasons for that. Different PCs. Looks like he went wide there too.
yeah, this is a slippery track for sure. So out of the rip, you're going to want to get those tires and the temperature in your tires and take it. Oh, move up the inside here for 3rd.
Rob Angus slips under Steve. Steve tries to cross him over back. How long does it take the tires to warm up? And is that something that everybody sees on their telemetry, or do you have to specifically map it to be on your screen?
I run the dash panel app. I don't have temps, but you start to get a feel for it. It looks like our track temps are 121, so it's going to probably take a good 3, maybe 4 laps here, as long as you don't overheat them and lose that grip early on. I think you'll be able to maintain a decent pace, but it's more of a feel with these cars for certain. Then diving down in here, it does get a little bumpy when you're coming off the oval section. So the rear end of that car likes to get a little light on you, so you kind of gotta dance it a little bit. But you can get the job done.
Slow-mo replay of Christopher Hopper taking a little too much curb and a little too much throttle as Christopher Hopper tries to rejoin the oval. Does a good job of staying out of the traffic to reset his car, get going, pointing in the right direction. Tough break for Christopher Hopper. It's a long race. Only 10 seconds back. You might be able to make some of that up as the race progresses. 30 minutes. Do you think you can make 30 minutes on a tank, Justin?
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty close. There's not a whole lot of, not too many high speed corners here, so you pretty much just have the out in the back stretch here, the oval part of the track, and then most of the infield. It's pretty medium to low speed here, and like I said, with that lack of grip, you're really not going to be want to be standing on the throttle on corner exits. So I think you ease into it, and I think some drivers here will be able to make a one stopper for sure.
Right on. Looks like about a second apart between first, second, and third, all within a second of each other.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see, Brian Coxon, after giving up the lead to Max Bauer, can hold off Rob Angus, trying to hunt him down. There's the battle. Brian Coxon glitching. What causes some of that cutoff, Justin?
It could be a multitude of things. It could be bandwidth being taken up. It could be performance from your PC. There's a couple ways you can kind of go about doing some testing and monitoring some of the resources that iRacing is using. So I've been there, done that, and I was able to get mine squared away for the most part. Biggest thing, probably make sure you're trying to reset your router, get a quality router, and try and run hardwire versus a wireless connection. They'll usually do the trick if you can kind of start to troubleshoot, and one of those paths will probably take you towards fixing that issue. But sometimes it's a total crapshoot, and it happens, and kind of not much you can do about it.
Is it distracting for the guy behind to try to race somebody side by side? Yeah.
It's distracting for the guy in front of you, behind you, next to you. So it's hard. I mean, guys will have a moment there where they blink and they're completely gone. And unfortunately, if they re-blink and and they're kind of into the side of your car, it could be game over for you. So it can be frustrating, but it's never anything malicious or intentful.
Yeah, of course. That's one thing that you guys have done with the Midwest Motorsports League is create a great environment with fun. I've been reading I try to read up on the Discord too. As the racers chat about tonight's race or last night's race, or even, I mean, it's funny. Sometimes people hold a grudge for 5 or 6 weeks, all in fun, of course. But it is really cool how you guys have built a real Midwest motorsports community. The Discord is huge. The participation is huge, and it's really cool to see. And you guys were on the Joe Six Pack broadcast last week talking about it too. And I'm going to give you another opportunity to talk about how you guys started and how awesome it is that you've come and where you see it going next.
Yeah, so kind of long story short, Eric and I both started on Xbox. He was in a NASCAR Heat League, and I found a league that was running Assetto Corsa Competizione, ACC, as it's known as. I was running that for a while and told him, hey man, you should try this road stuff. It's a lot of fun. I already have a league that I'm a driver in, and there's some funny people, and it's just been a good time overall. So he jumped into that for a while, and then he made the switch over to iRacing quite a ways before I did. And when I got, we gotta see.
What do we got?
Watching this, looks like Chris Hopper ran a little bit wide, touched that ice, and he came around. Oh, looks like
the grass doesn't offer as much traction as the asphalt. There he goes. He got it sorted.
Yeah, it looks like he went away unscathed, so no harm, no foul there for him. Nobody got collected, and his car looks like it's in one piece still. So, but yeah, he made the jump to iRacing, and I started doing my research and just saw, whatever you want to race, pretty much, it's available to you on the service. So, slowly but surely, started kind of buying PC parts here and there, and then I built it, got it, and then he was the one that wanted to start a league, and I told him I'm not against it, but be prepared. It's a very long road to pave. So it just takes a lot of patience. You have to continually engage, try and come up with something unique to bring to the table, because there's just countless leagues out there, and so we're not saying we're gunning for anybody's league, but there's so many leagues that were already established, and we just kind of did what we did to make it unique. But we started off running legacy trucks and oval, and then we just continued to do some oval series, and then came out with a road series, and now we're running four series total across our league. So it's been a fun ride. We've met a lot of really cool people, and a lot of guys have been here for quite some time now, and we just hope to really continue to bolster our numbers, participation, and and my personal opinion is, from running the road side, we don't care how fast or how slow you are. If you're a good person and you want to help others, build them up, and you're a clean racer, then we have a home for you here. So that's kind of more of our motto is just to race clean and have fun, and you can't take it too seriously, right? So when I want to go fast, I just come down to the rig and run some laps in iRacing, and I don't get seriously injured if something was to happen, and it doesn't cost me any more than a yearly subscription to iRacing.
Yeah, that's great. And we just saw a replay of the pass for Brian Coxon. Looks like he's been having some difficulty. I don't know if it was the blink or what, but he went down and just slammed on the brakes. I don't know if he had an interruption at home. Maybe the dog jumped up in his lap right as he was in the middle. But apparently he's been blinking a lot. So was that Max Bauer hitting the wall?
It looks like Taylor and maybe Dustin Reinstedel got a little loose there towards the pit entry.
There we go. Diving off into 13 and 14, which is the chicane. Oh, there it is. They both. No contact. Follow the leader. Your car goes where your eyes go. Looks like it was in back. Dustin following Taylor, or Taylor following Dustin. Here we are riding with Taylor. Dustin in front. Dustin slams on the brakes. Here he is on the outside. Great camera work, Colin. Dustin gets on the grass, and Taylor follows him right on the grass. Simultaneous right side tires in the grass. Lockups, correction. I don't know, they're doing tandem drifting style like they're doing Formula D. But Tyler just barely hits the tires. That's going to cost him a little bit of damage.
Yeah, it looks like his wing got crumpled up there a little bit, so hopefully he doesn't fall off too far in pace, and maybe he can use that fast repair when he comes in for his stop. So hopefully he doesn't have to pit twice and lose any more. But I find that that's one of the hardest as an early road racer is not following the car in front of you. You really have to break that mentality for sure.
It is a habit. It's hard to break those habits when you've been.
Oh, it looks like Taylor. I don't know if he meant to enter the pit lane there, but it looks like he almost did the same thing he had happen to him. This time he did it on his own.
It would definitely be early to make a stop or planned pit stop.
Oh yes, for sure. It looks like he ran just wide, just again.
Is he going to stop or is he going to do a drive-through? I wonder. I mean, as long as it takes tires to warm up, even here, can you run the whole race at 1 hour on one set? You did stop, so I hope he's going to rejoin us.
You can. Your pace, your grip will. You'll lose some grip. Your pace may not fall off too terrible. I mean, with a lot of these lower speed corners, I don't really see tire wear being too difficult. But with these cars, I mean, it's going to add maybe 1 second, to do a tire change. So if you can get a banger in lap and knock out a good out lap as well, you probably won't lose too much time. But it's pretty standard here. I mean, I typically take tires because, like I said, it's not going to add too much to your stop time. So.
And do they fall off towards the end of the race?
Yeah, they will. They will. But then again, I mean, you got to understand the car and how you need to change your entries and your line and everything else to help mitigate more of a loss of time, right? So everything's continually evolving, track temps and tire wear and tire temp. So if you can do the right adjustments, whether that be through brake bias or backing up your entry or your line just a little bit to change up your exit, then some guys can do it. I know they're out there.
And I know this is the last race of the open wheel high downforce cars. Are going to be the similar characteristic as we're watching one more replay of Andrew Miller here getting it wrong. That looks like the infield section. Switchbacks. Turn 3, 4, and 5, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, just a little bit on the grass.
That's all it takes. Run out of racing room. Again, this is a track that is not common in everybody's league, so it's completely understandable that they're still learning how the track races, as everybody just tries to crank out some consistent laps. Max Bauer still with the fastest time of the race, 17.49. Next best is a 17.7. Everybody else in the 18s, 19s, and 20s. So Max Bauer and Rob Angus showing us why they're number 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's still a long race. There's 45 minutes left, so anything can happen.
So with these cars, high downforce, you drive the car, use all the apex under braking. Use all the downforce all the way to the apex. Mm-hmm. Not going to be the same next season in GT4s. How much transition do you think it's going to take to get used to a GT4 car compared to this one? And what kind of recruiting are you going to do for GT4 for next season?
There'll definitely be quite a bit of difference. You have some driver aids available like traction and braking, ABS, in the GT4s, but a lot less downforce. But it'll be a good time. You can get your elbows out a little more confidently. I don't want to encourage too rough of behavior, under racing, but you can rub a little bit better, in the GT4 cars. But I think there's some guys here we have that they're diehard F3 guys, and you can probably figure out from a lot of our races who those guys are. But it'll be interesting. A lot of guys here have some GT experience as well. We ran GT3s for a season before, so it's a step down from the GT3s, but some similar, just a little less downforce. We ran TCRs for a season as well, so it's kind of that in between sweet spot as far as a couple of the classes we've had in the past. As far as recruitment, we're gonna do some open races, so we're gonna be posting that stuff all over on all of our accounts, our social media, on Twitter and Facebook, and our Reddit account, and then in the iRacing forums as well. But we're gonna come together, do a couple. Looks like going into turn 2, there might be some race control just popped up. Looks like it's clear now. I'm not sure.
Here's a replay. Thanks, Colin. Christopher Hopper. Into turn 2, the second part. Trying to carry too much mid-corner speed and miss the apex offline just a little bit. And rear end out chases the front end.
Yeah, this is a tricky track. A lot of these corners look a lot faster than what you think they are, but you got to hit your braking mark, be smooth on the brakes, and really easy with that throttle inputs as well. So as you can tell, the rear end will dance around here. I think this is probably one of the slipperiest tracks I think we had all season long. So it's a test here for everybody's focus and everything else. But going back to next season for recruitment, yeah, we'll do some recruitment races, and I think the admin team will probably get together. We probably won't do any that already appear on the schedule, just because I don't want anybody getting that competitive edge, for that one season, that 1 week. So I'd like to do a couple races for tracks that we're not going to run during the season, just to keep it a little more exciting.
Yeah, it's incredible. It will be very exciting, and I think everybody's going to be able to start over with the first race especially. Everybody starts off with 0 points. So hopefully you have a great level of participation after the recruitment races, like you said. So keep an eye out for the announcements thread, I think is where you're going to make those announcements. Is that right?
Yep, we'll post it in our Discord first, give our members the first opportunity to sign up. So basically, our members will get first dib at picking a car number, and they will have to pick their manufacturer, and they'll have to stick with that manufacturer for the length of the season. They will not be allowed to change it up at any point. So they're going to have to run the same car from week 1 to week 20. I'm gonna rock the McLaren this season, so nice. Looking forward to that. I have the BMW M4 GT4, but kind of wanted to change it up and do something different. So I'm going to be choosing the McLaren, but I'm looking forward to the schedule. There's going to be a brutal kind of last 3 quarters or last quarter of the schedule. There's going to put some people to the test for sure.
Yeah, it's real exciting. It looks like Steve Hansel. I don't think that's for a position. He just passed Taylor Montague. Steve Hansel in 3rd place now.
Mm-hmm.
Good run for Steve.
Yep.
And he's been helping out the league a lot too. I see him chiming in.
Oh yeah, he runs our point system, and to anybody in the league who may be watching tonight, we're going to have a real opportunity for a lot of points to be had on the docket. So we actually increased our bonus points for a 0x. So we promote clean racing, and we want everybody to have a good time. And anytime anybody gets wrecked out, it's not fun for anybody. Even if you get 2 positions out of a couple guys getting collected, even if you get up into the points because some guys got into it, it's never fun, and nobody wants that. So there's going to be a huge bonus for if you can run the whole race and get a 0x. There's a lot on the table. So we revamped our entire point system and introducing a pro and an AM split. So there's going to be pretty much from first to last place will be within the points. So it gives everybody the opportunity to score points, and it puts it out there that you're always battling for something, right? Whether it's P20 or P19, you're going to walk away with some points in your pocket. So we're looking forward to it.
I think that's another great thing about iRacing is that, or any racing really, but iRacing is much more affordable than the real thing. As far as, racing somebody, when you're side by side with somebody, they're obviously similar levels of ability because you're together. Otherwise, one would be much further ahead. So, you're always somebody to race against. And even like now, Christopher Hopper on his own with only 8 cars on the track right now, but racing against yourself and racing the track, there's always something to learn, whether you're racing the track, trying to get out the best lap time, or racing somebody side by side. And it's just really awesome that we're get to do this stuff, man. And I know it takes a lot of time for it to come together in the way it is. And again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Thanks for everybody's effort, the whole team, the broadcast team, the admin team, as we're winding down this championship season. And the chases start on your Oval Series next week also. So I think there's 4 or 5 races in those playoffs. Is that right?
Yep, that's right. So I'm in the Truck Series and in the next gen, our Cup Series. So looking forward to that. I've had a good year so far, so we'll see if I can keep it together in Cup. That's kind of where my focus is moving forward in our oval side when it comes to the chase. So I'm gonna put all my eggs in the Cup Series basket, and I'm hoping for a good result.
All right. Well, speaking of trucks, I don't know if you can hear the piece of paper I'm rattling.
I hear something.
I got your Cup stats. Yeah, there we go. All right. Average start 3.6. Average finish 2.2. So again, moving up. 4 wins, 2 poles. Pretty awesome. Good job. What? Now, yeah, I mean that's pretty awesome, man. I know your brother and even your dad show up to race the Cup Series every now and then.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Eric. Yeah, well, I don't know. This has been my most successful oval season so far, so I was finally happy to. I mean, this is the first time. This is the first season I've ever even won on an actual oval. So it looks like we got Chris looping it again. It looks like he kept it clean and he stayed out of any contact, so he's back to rolling. But this is the first time I've actually won on a oval track. Usually it was, I could compete up there on the road courses, and that's kind of where I was able to bank, on really getting some points, in my bank for the season. But I've had a lot of good runs on ovals. Some have been just pure luck, and some have kind of just I've been able to do it. So I've won on some cool ovals. So short tracks, I won Martinsville, and I won, I think, North. Yep. So it was cool to win on those two. So I'm still waiting on my grandfather clock, but I think Eric might be a little too cheap to send me one of those.
That's great. I do see the Sonoma. You mentioned you're a good road racer. Sonoma, you brought home the win on the Cup Series side. And Dustin Reinstedel, again, trying to carry as much speed as they can on the exit before the final chicane. And
this corner is getting everybody.
Chewing them up and spitting out. At least not paying favorites. Everybody is treated the same as they come through that corner.
Yeah. Yeah, I was able to.
Big off.
Yeah. Stay on the barrier.
into the tires. Christopher Hopper.
Well, I hope he's not beat up too bad.
It'd be turn 2 as they come off the trioval. Is the transition to the apron maybe throwing them off? Yeah.
It's bumpy coming in there. That light end, it'll dance around on you. So you gotta be easy there. You want to keep a little bit of throttle just to keep some grip on the rear end of the car. But it can be real tight. So
Watching Rob Angus now dance through some traffic. I think that was Andrew Miller. Andrew Miller was trying to get out of the way. He didn't have to go in the grass to get out of the way. But Rob Angus, 12 seconds behind Max. So I'm sure he's patient enough. Good to see Rob Angus having another good run. See where he is in points. Rob Angus currently 10th. Oh, it's a tough break for Brian Coxon.
yeah.
Brian Coxon was having some internet issues after having a great race last week, up 2 spots. Now, not going to get a lot of points this week compared to Rob Angus. Might lose that position. That's for 9th and 10th in the championship. Still there, Justin? I'm not sure I got you.
Oh, yep. Yeah, I'm right here.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
What?
We're back racing with our leader, Max Bauer. We're coming up on 30 minutes, so pit stops in the next 2 or 3 laps. If they're splitting it right down the middle. But Max Bauer, 13 seconds now over Rob Angus. I noticed that there was a livery submission. So tell me the rules about picking your paint. I know a lot of people use trading paints to change up their liveries every now and then. What's the livery? Some of the specific livery rules.
So pretty much just it's got to be appropriate. With no profanity or anything of graphic content that would be tasteless. So the livery submission for this season was pretty much just for the teams. So drivers wanted teams this season, so we implemented that, and we basically told them, if you want to be on a team, that's awesome. We'll encourage that, but the one stipulation is both cars have to run the same livery, and you can have some accent colors like mirrors or a part of the wing or the wheels. Yeah, so we opened it up, which we were cool with that. But we basically said the base scheme of the cars need to be exactly the same if you are going to be on a team. So we had teams of 2, pretty much just like Formula One would be. So it's been pretty cool. So that's been fun. I'm not sure if we're going to keep up with it in the GT4 because we have I think there's 4 or 5, maybe 5 different manufacturers for the GT4 cars in iRacing. It's going to be too difficult. So in a real world, your teammate would be in the exact same car as you. So we don't want a McLaren and a Porsche teamed up, or a Mercedes and a Beamer. So kind of not doable at this point. It would just make things a lot harder for the team to kind of track and make sure everybody's doing what they should be doing. So
the other great aspect of the Midwest Motorsports League is trying to keep it interesting for everybody and something else to follow along with as the season progresses. It's great effort. It's great to see some participation in it, and it's a little difficult, especially like the Fernandez brothers. Or exactly the same, Fedorowski brothers.
Fedorowski's, yeah, yep.
Or you and Steve in the Flatlanders livery, not knowing which one was which. But it's all good.
Yeah.
So next season is going to be a lot of fun with the variety of sports cars, multiple liveries, and just going to be an exciting season. Again, I'm looking at a 20 race season, still keeping some sprint and feature races, so opportunity to gain extra points on the sprint races. I think 4 sprints this year, next season.
Yep, yeah, that's right. So We got 4 sprints. We changed it up a little bit. It looks like Andrew looped her around there. Same spot Dustin and Taylor fell victim.
It is.
Yeah. Got to eat them up tonight.
Oh. Christopher Hopper again doing some more landscaping for us. Trying to get the drift just right. Missed it.
Might have to put John Deere on the side of that car here if it wasn't the last race.
Nice. No charge for that. Thank you.
But yeah, we got 4 sprints on the schedule. They'll be pretty interesting. I'm a big fan of them myself. We got sprint race week 2 at Monza, and then week 4 at the Nürburgring Grand Prix. Then from there we go off. The next one will be at Road Atlanta, and the final one being at Brands Hatch. So Brands Hatch will actually be appearing twice on the schedule for next season. So it'll be right out of the rip week 1 with a standard format, and then we come back week 17 or week 18 to do a sprint and feature there at Brands Hatch, which is one of my personal favorites. I just love that track so much.
It is a classic for sure. And the sprint races you in F3 this season, we inverted the whole field. What's the invert like for the GT4s?
So this is the classic. You'll never please everybody all the time. Some drivers liked it a lot. Some didn't. Oh, looks like Chris went around one more time. Yeah, it's just so slippery tonight. I mean,
you get it right.
These conditions. I mean, hot track, and he might be out on more tires. I'm not sure if. Oh, looks like he clipped the wall there a little bit. Oh. But yeah, so we actually put it to a vote whether they wanted to keep it, or where we flip the entire field, which personally, Taylor fell victim again.
The Cookie Monster corner is just gobbling them up.
So we put it to a vote, and we basically gave them 2 options. We said, all right, we're going to keep it as is. We invert the entire field, or we invert the top 10 only, and the league voted. And we never, we take all those serious, and we never, try and ignore what the league wants, because without these guys here, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So, like I said earlier, we allow them to help shape the course. And this next season for our GT4s, we're going to invert the top 10 only.
Top 10 get invert. I'm with you. I see the leaders are now in the pits finally, but we're 33 minutes down. So no problem making it all the way on fuel. Rob Angus finally coming in. Yeah.
Looks like Steve's coming in now. I wasn't sure if he was going to try and push it another lap, but he might be a little too low to run it. So we're going to run a 60% fuel load for next season. So it's going to open the pit window a lot more than here in these cars, because every car is going to carry different fuel amounts. And Chris is he's cutting that grass today, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep your head up, Chris, man. We're all rooting for you, buddy. Keep it in there. But so with our fuel load testing for next season, we basically made it 60%, and from our calculations, that's going to get you basically anywhere from like halfway to maybe the 40 to the 45 minute mark. So there's going to be a lot more strategy involved and when guys are going to pit and everything else, and that's what I kind of like about opening that up. But it's really difficult, to do these calculations, because it takes a lot, not only to do fuel testing across every race that you're going to run in the calendar, but it's going to take 10 times that if you have just 10 races on your schedule, because we try and keep it the same for the entire season, but it's very, very time consuming. and a lot goes into it. It's not just myself, but multiple admins that help me out with that, and it'd be a lot to do it per track, so we try and just do a standard.
It makes perfect sense. I mean, it's not much different from, was we watching another replay? Or did I just missed one? It's okay. It's all good. Each car has a different fuel burn, and then each car may have a different tire wear, also based on what track they're at this week. So similar to like the BOP, balance of performance, that some guys do, it's just throughout the season, a car might work out. It should even out throughout the season. 20 race season is a lot of races, even with provisionals and off weeks. They should play out throughout the variety of circuits that you go to be even with which car might have a fuel advantage but a tire deficit, or vice versa, or one car might have an advantage at one track but then a huge disadvantage at another track. So it's going to be very fun to see it all play out next season.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like you really hit the nail on the head. It's what car are you going to pick that maybe you think is going to give you the best what do you think what car is going to give you the best consistency, across the board? But we'll see, and it's all good, as long as everybody races clean, has a good finish, you can hang your hat on that one. So I'm looking forward to it.
We're not racing for $1 million contracts or anything. Everybody is here truly just to have fun, and yeah, it's great that we have a platform to do that, man. iRacing really brings people together from all over the country and all over the world. I mean, it's really cool to see such a diverse field of participants in the different leagues. I mean, Europe, Japan, Australia, there's people everywhere in the world racing all together side by side, and it's a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun getting to know everybody, man. We're going to do it again.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, looks like Andrew Miller took a little shortcut there.
This is a golf. Maybe he's looking for some of the golf balls. In the sand trap, trying to short line the chicane. Getting out of the way. I did notice, I would do want to shout out to Andrew Miller for being super clean and conscious of his position in the track. I think it was Austria, the A1 ring. The leaders were coming through, did a real good job of just bleeding over to the right, making his intention known, let the leaders go in the next corner. He did something very similar, and just over and over again, Andrew Miller knows, where he's at and that he's learning, and he's going to be competitive soon. This is not his competitive day, and when it is time for Andrew Miller to be competitive, I know that experience will pay off, and other drivers will give him the same courtesy when it's their turn, when Andrew Miller's coming up to lap him. So that's the kind of racing I've seen all throughout all of the different leagues that you guys got here. Another big shout to Midwest-Motorsports.com. If you're interested in joining the league, all the information's on the website. And there's this QR code, Midwest-Motorsports.com. Come join us, man. You're always welcome. The doors are open. Trucks on the Friday nights. Xfinity on Saturday night. Cup Sunday evening. And the Road Series, all road course next season will be GT4s on Tuesday evenings, 7 o'clock Eastern. And I'm looking for the first race is going to be September the 5th. So a couple of weeks after this, before we get started, the whole month of August, after today, we take over. So you got a month to do some testing. And is there a deadline for picking the car?
Yeah, so our internal members, I'll release the sign-ups for them here in the next couple of days and give them about a week to do so. And then from there, we're going to jump in and get this thing blasted out there, and hopefully get some new members. And we're open to everybody, as long as you race clean and you have a willingness to learn. And, as you said, you don't take this so seriously. I mean, everybody wants to have a good finish and a good clean night. But if you're willing to learn and come join us, we'll be glad to help you out, and we'll become a community, and it's a lot of fun. That's something that I always get personal enjoyment out of, is just watching the progression of drivers. And like you said about Andrew, he has that awareness of where he's at on the track, and he does the right thing, and doesn't cause problems. As long as you got your head on a swivel and you kind of know the protocol, then you're good to go. If not, just chime up and just be straightforward about it. Say you're not sure what to do in that situation, and you'll get a lot of drivers give you multiple different answers, but they'll all pretty much be the same. So
I mean, I've even seen some users or some members actually hosting warm-up races or practice races, and then even then they're on the comms talking even strategy, as Rob Angus puts another lap on Andrew Miller, but talking strategy, or brake and throttle traces, steering input tips, helping your fellow competitor out in an open practice session. So it's another great thing that Midwest Motorsports has got.
Yeah, the guys are just so helpful, and I can't be happier of the community that we have here. Guys are throwing up practice sessions for 3 hours on race day, just to get some people to get some time in, and you can use that as an advantage yourself. You can see what some of the competition's running and everything else, but everybody's here to help, and as long as you're here to do that, or you want to come and get better, or learn a new discipline, I encourage all our oval guys to jump in the road series as well. You can take a lot out of it. I mean, it's a completely different series and completely different car from what you may run in the Xfinity truck or the Cup, but a lot of that carries over. So we, like, for instance, we watched Dustin Reinsettle here, the 11 car. When he first started, when we had road courses on the oval side, he struggled, admittedly. He was getting lapped multiple times on a road course, and he's really used this as kind of a learning experience, and he's learned how to handle different. Looks like Chris is drifting again.
Yeah, heating up those rear tires. But I agree with you about Dustin Reinsettle. Watching him almost, I hate to bring this up again, Dustin, please forgive me, winning the road course at Sonoma in the truck. Came up a half of a straightaway short on fuel as he was being tracked down. But I believe it was Ryan Enlow that won that one. But yeah, Sonoma, the road course, in a NASCAR truck, would not
easy.
Dustin to be up front on that one, but he almost did it.
I couldn't touch him. I told him, I said, you don't beat yourself up too much, but you really came around, and I had nothing for him that night, and I thought I'd be up there with fighting for a win, but he was untouchable, and it just came down to a bad fuel strategy call. But I told him, keep your head up. A year ago you would have been 2 laps down. So he's really come a long way when it comes to road, and he's brought another competitive car every time we go to a road course in one of our oval races.
And he does a great job with our social media too, posting up screenshots and winners, screensavers, stuff like that. Dustin Reinsettle, we're coming up on 15 minutes to go in the race. Dustin Reinsettle currently running 4th on the lead lap, about 20 seconds behind Steve Hansel. But yeah, it's fun to see. And who else? Well, let's talk about the getting your sim rig set up. I wanted to ask you about that, Justin. All running different series. The more experience you have, the more seat time you have. You can dial in whether it's your force feedback settings or even just your field of view and your monitor or VR. How long does it take before you really get comfortable to know that you can stop adjusting it and start really cranking on lap time?
So pretty much I get in where, when I first set up, I run a triple monitor setup, Track Racer TR80, 80/20 rig, and pretty much, when I built it, I kind of got got my my wheelbase where I needed it to be, where the right angle that I wanted and everything, and dialing in your field of view and setting up triples, I think, is probably the trickiest thing to do. But once you get that set up, pretty much my FOV stays the same for every car. I may just pretty much only adjust maybe my driver height, so I may bump it up, may bump it down just a little bit, but for the most part, my seats in the at the right angle that I want. I got my pedal set where I need to be, and I actually put a little, so my seat's on rails, so it slides back and forth as it would in a car. So basically, I just put a little witness mark on the base and then on the side of the seat, and I just line that up every time. So I'm consistently the same distance from my wheel and pedals that I need to be, and then all I do is I just run dash panel on an older iPad that I had laying around, and so I get all my info that I need, like brake bias and gear and track temp and laps and position and all that stuff.
Oh, Steve, what happens here?
Oh, not my teammate. Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
Taking the Christopher Hopper line through turn 3, 4, and 5.
I think maybe Chris missed that spot, so he was just trying to
clean up the edges.
Yeah, just a little bit. So
3, 4, and 5. Down the long back straight to 6. All right, back with Rob Angus. Coming on to finish the lap. Turn 13, 14, and 15 blends on. Cross the line for lap number 35. Starting lap 35. 18 seconds behind Max Power. Flag to flag for Max Power. Another good run. Speaking of international drivers, Max Power currently residing in Austria. Teammate of Johan de Rooij. There's Max. Sorry, 1 second here, pulling up some stats. Average start 8th, average finish 7th. He does have a win. And that was the A1 ring at Red Bull Ring. So Mr. Chris Hopper, almost getting it wrong. He saved it.
My man. Oh no!
Oh, he spoke too soon.
I cursed him. I put the curse on him.
It wasn't Chris, it was all Justin on that one.
Yeah, he's a new driver. He's joined us maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago. I guess he's buddies with David Wortman, and David Wortman was actually with us in our first season of road when we ran the TCR, and he left for a little while, but I'm glad he came back and he was able to join back up with us. So he was a good member for us and seemed to enjoy himself, and glad he brought a buddy along with him. So
thanks. Welcome back.
It's been really cool.
So every week you sign up, you get a certain number of provisionals. All those rules are on the Midwest-Motorsports.com website. Of course, coming up on 10 minutes to go. 11 and a half minutes. Max Power showing his dominance. Once again.
As a driver, I kind of get in these scenarios when you get those gaps, where you're really not making any hay on the guy in front of you, and the guy behind you isn't really making any on you. So it's almost that battle, well, there's only 10 minutes left. Do I really, if I push it too much, I might lose it. And, if I push it too much, am I even going to get there? So, you always kind of have that in the back of your mind. Do I just take what's given to me now and settle in here for the rest of the race, or what do I try and do here? You know what I mean? So it's a game for sure. And, it's always something that you're thinking of.
Yeah. Like I say, it's easy to get kind of lost in your own world. Max Power's got the radio on and the AC on and trying to select a different track on his iPad. on his player. But it is easy to get distracted. You can lose it just that quickly. Even 20-second lead can go away pretty quickly.
Certainly. Same thing in oval too. I mean, you got to kind of be aware. Like, sometimes you get out in the lead and you think you can just cruise, and then you look down and the guys made up a second and a half on you, and you're like, oh well, now the pressure's on me. I got to build that gap back up without making an error. And do you want to overdrive the car just to get that gap back and then lose your tires for the next however many laps on wherever you're at? So I like these longer races. I think there's so much more. If you can stay with it, something could happen to anybody here out on this track. So I think it's a big game of focusing and just being consistent. And it's so much better. I think it results in a little better racing as well. You get those 20-minute iRacing officials, and people are just out there bombing it around and just driving out of control half the time. So I like these longer races. I think it really puts the pressure on our drivers to try and focus and keep their head in the game for quite a while. So
it definitely takes a lot of practice to stay focused for this full hour.
Mm-hmm.
In any season, oval or roval or road course, you really it takes practice to get good at focusing for so long. You really have to train your brain to focus.
Absolutely, yeah. And we do, there's a small group of us in here that do the endurance events when we can get enough drivers to do them. And it's kind of funny when I like my stints actually to be like 3 hours long. So we go to the 24 of Daytona, and I'll try and do 3 hours straight. So you kind of got to prepare yourself for that, because you can't just get out of the car when you want. And I did a couple years ago, I did the Peachtree event, and you can run, it's a team race, but iRacing does allow you to do that solo. And I think that was a 4-hour race. So I did 4 hours in the MX5 all by myself. So that was an interesting one. Yep, all me in the MX5, and it was fun. It puts you to the test for sure. But I don't want to get in the car and then once you finally get into a rhythm, it's time to get out. So I like my longer stints, and 3 of us did the 12 hours of Suzuka last year in the BMW. Oh, it looks like Brian, is he coming into the pits? It looks like he's flickering a little. Did he have a oopsie moment here?
Having down back in to 12, 13.
Oh, he looped it. Yeah.
On power. Yeah, he might have had enough for tonight.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. But 3 of us did the 12-hour, and we all did 3-hour or 4-hour stints straight. So that was a long night too. But it's a lot of fun. The pressure's on, because you got to be able to hand that car off to your teammate, and the pressure's on you to be quick and hopefully make some moves on track, but keep it clean as well. So it's a real bummer when you're the guy who causes 8 minutes of repairs or something. So I like the team races a lot. I think it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Oh, Steve,
what are you doing, bud? That's not a shortcut.
Dangerous rejoin. All good.
Oh no. Oh, that's a replay. Okay, I thought he maybe did it again. Yeah, I'm gonna have to have some words with him.
Can't blame him for not trying too hard. He's definitely giving everything he's got. But he's currently 3rd. Dustin Reinsettle now on his
he's behind. He's sniffing for
That's it. This is the race for position for the 3rd step on the podium.
Oh, I don't know. Steve
don't
better keep a cool head.
Time. Yeah, don't give him too hard of a time. It gives us some excitement come up in these last 5 minutes.
Let's see if Dustin can do it.
Dustin. got his shark goggles on, hunting him down, staring at the rear diffuser of Steve Ansel. Flatlander's paint scheme. Well, Steve, getting on the gas.
A little twitchy there. Well, let's see if he's got to run. Let's see what he's gonna. I mean, I don't think he's gonna be close enough to close it in here, but we'll see. We'll see if he can carry it through. If Dustin can keep it straight. Be easy on the throttle here. This is where he can make up time. If he, it's going to be close. I think this is going to be one to watch here.
They cross the line one more time. 56 down, 3.5 to go. High downforce Formula 3 cars. Fixed setups, so both of the cars have the exact same setup. They both came in. They both stopped once. Dustin came in at lap 20. Steve Hansel came in at lap 25. So Steve Hansel has a 5-lap tire advantage. I don't know if that's huge, but we have seen him going through the sand traps a couple of times. So he takes a wide line there. Dustin Reinstedt nice and calm on the power.
He got a good run. He got a good run out of that first. He dove it in too. He was a little later on the brakes than Steve, so he made up a little bit. I mean, just look at him close under braking. So I think Dustin might be a little more confident here going into these braking zones more than Steve. So
Dustin Reinstedt sizing him up. They go through turn 9. It's turn 10 has come off the banking. 11, another left. 412, and then a tight chicane, 13 and 14. This is where you don't want to watch the guy in front of you too close, in case he goes off. Back around for another lap.
Oh, he's gonna want to. This. I think even P4 here is his best. I think it's his best finish so far in the series from the season, and I think he's gonna want that first podium. I think he's gonna really try and put the pressure on Steve. I mean, I think he can get to him if he's a little earlier maybe on the power on exit, but I think Dustin is a little more confident here going into these braking zones. I mean, just look at that gap close up. If he can get a good drive out, I think get the traction and get the power down. He might have time for a move at some point, but don't know if it'll be on this lap.
I know he wants it. He's not going to do anything egregious to take it, but he is going to apply the pressure every chance he gets. It's a shame it's taken him 57.5 minutes to start applying pressure. In the cockpit we go with Dustin.
And the thing here, there's not a huge straight to really get in that slipstream, so I don't think that's going to be a huge factor. It's all going to be under braking and then corner exit. And Steve's got an error. He's got an error. He's able to hold that lead, but
oh my God,
he's got the pressure on him now. He's going to be sweating. They're both probably sweating for sure. I would be if I was either one of them. You know, you don't want to be the guy who loses out here in the last couple laps. But
it's going to be this lap and one more. Can he do it? Filling up the mirrors.
He's all over him.
No mistakes for Hansel. It's what he has to do. Steve Hansel in the orange car. Dustin Reinstedt on the purple and white car behind him. There he is under braking again. Accordions up to him.
Yeah, Steve might be just carrying just a little extra speed there through the apex, but...
Does Dustin use the chrome horn?
I don't know. It looks like he's trying to break that slipstream, so I don't know if he's feeling too good about his... He's pulling away though. Again, he's got that gap build up, so it might take an error from Steve Dustin to get it. But
this is going to be something they're going to talk about for a while. Coming down to the last lap through the chicane, heading on to the start-finish line one more time. Steve Hansel does a good job of getting into the traction, back on the oval and off of the apron. Gets a little breathing room, 3/4 of a second, not much more. Dustin closes in again. through the right and then the left to turn 5, down towards the first passing zone of 6, and after that, the passing zone of 8. Can he do it? Dustin Reinstedel in the number 11 car. Number 11 is the winningest number in NASCAR Cup history. I know this isn't NASCAR, but Dustin Reinstedel does run the number 11 in all 3 series as he late breaks into turn 8. Back onto the oval to go one more time. He's going to have the chicane one more time. It's his last and final best place to pass. Let's see if he can get alongside him as they get back off the high oval on high banking of the oval. Turn 12. I think Max Bauer is your winner. Dustin,
congratulations. Congratulations, Matt. Yeah, he's just been hovering around that, 4.5 tenth mark. So he's got nothing to be upset about. He battled it out there, and he's come a long way in the road. So he can't be too upset about it. It looks like they're taking a cool down around the oval, but he's probably relieved that he was able to hold him off there.
I agree. Great racing, Steve Hansel. You can change your underwear now. Dustin Reinstedel, 4th spot. Dustin prides himself on the number of races with 0x.
Mm-hmm.
So I know he wasn't going to use the chrome horn unless he absolutely had to. Didn't really have a chance. Full credit to Steve Hansel for not giving him the opportunity. But there's your race leader, Max Bauer, at the Homestead Miami season finale for the Midwest Motorsports F3 cars. Max Bauer does it. Max Bauer with the win. And let's see if I can refresh Sim Racer Hub to see where he finishes. Don't think he's going to be able to get up to Justin Fedorowski, who missed the race. 34 points behind Justin Fedorowski, so no points position change for Max, but definitely a hard-fought win, flag to flag for Max Bauer, and the fast lap of the race. Oh, the fast lap goes to Brian Coxon, I believe. Let me check that.
Yeah, there we go.
See if we can get Max Bauer in here for a chat. If he's once he gets his helmet and Hans device off. No fast lap of the race goes to Brian Coxon.
Nice.
There's your lineup. Final results. Max Bauer, Rob Angus, and Steve Hansel, 1, 2, and 3. Dustin Reinstedel finishes 4th, 0.44 seconds behind Steve Hansel. Taylor Montague 5th, Andrew Miller 6th, Christopher Hopper 7th. Brian Coxon had some internet troubles tonight. I know we'll get him sorted out for next season. I spoke with Brian. He's been pretty excited about the GT4s. So expect Brian Coxon to be on it when it comes to next season. Well, Justin Taylor, appreciate you joining us in the booth. You're welcome anytime. The door is always open.
Looks like if you want to go ahead and pull up Max for an interview, it looks like he might be waiting on us.
Is he in the race chatter?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Max Bauer, your 2023 Formula 3 Midwest Motorsports Miami Homestead Road Course winner. Max, congratulations. Flag to flag.
Hi, James. Thank you very much. It was great fun.
It looked like it. So did you prepare for this race today? It looks like you knew the track pretty well. You were turning consistent 116s and 17s all throughout the race.
Well, I didn't practice that much, but I took a look at it, and I was mainly concerned about the track temperature, It was like 53 degrees, my tires were melting, and for me, it felt like I have to manage my tires to set times like 170s.
Hey, Max, it's Justin. Congrats on the win, buddy.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was great fun. I'm just wondering what happened to Brian Coxon in the beginning.
Yeah, it looks like he unfortunately had some connectivity issues and things. He did get loose, I think, a couple times. But what question? What did you think of this track? It's not very popular in the official series, but I think it's a pretty fun layout. But it looked like for sure that the track temps were really high, and it looked really slippery through the infield. So, what were your thoughts on the track itself?
Well, I wasn't sure about the track if it fits to Formula 3, but when I took a look at it and you drive a couple of laps, it felt great in the end. I was surprised positively. So in the end, I believe we lose this Miami in the next season, right?
Yep. Yeah, a little inside information. Yep. So for anybody who's in the league, yeah, we're not going to be returning here. Like I said, I thought it'd be fun for this season.
It is. We definitely should return.
I'll really keep that in mind. Well, hey, I'm sure you've seen next season. What do you think of the schedule? Do you think some street courses followed by Mount Panorama and the Nürburgring are going to be a little tricky for everyone?
More than tricky. I think you guys want us to become endurance drivers, right?
I think it's going to shake it up. It'll separate some guys. I think it'll be more about you versus the track itself. But I think it's going to make things very interesting, especially with a lot of those being back to back.
I can't wait for Mount Panorama and Nordschleife.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I think it's going to be a good time. So
yeah, definitely so. And GT4s will be fun too, I believe.
Oh yes, we're looking forward to it. So congrats again.
Have you picked the car yet, Max?
It would be the McLaren, but I'm talking to D-Roy and something about the livery, so possibly the Porsche.
Very good.
Well, that's one other place I was going to go. Also, was that you were teammates this year. You know, they had a team championship to play along, just to kind of spice it up with. You were teamed up with Johan de Roy, who had such a great commanding lead that he didn't need to join us the last couple of weeks. We definitely missed him, but you had a really good season yourself, participating in 13 of the 17 races, or 14 now with this one. And I mean, you won a couple. You won at the Austria Ring, and then a couple other podiums as well. So a really fun season. We're glad to have you at Midwest Motorsports, and glad to know that you and de Roy are both coming back.
Yeah, definitely. We will stick around.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Glad you found us. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we look forward to you competing in our GT4 series as well.
Will do. You can count on me.
Congratulations, Max, once again on a great season.
Thank you very much. Has been a great season.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Let's do it again. Starting in September 5th is when the next GT4 Road Series for Midwest Motorsports League will start. Until then, check out midwest-motorsports.com. Eric, I've enjoyed having you in the booth, man. What do you think?
Well, Eric's not here right now, but
I said Eric again. I know.
It happens a lot.
Sorry,
no, it's
Justin.
been
I didn't mean to disrespect Eric like that.
Thanks. No, it's been a lot of fun, and again, I just thanks everybody for joining us this season. Or anybody who's competed in our series, anybody who's just been a fan watching along, and thank you, James, and for calling the races. Thank you, Colin, for doing the awesome camera work and bringing a lot more versatility to our streams. And we got a little bit of work, but we're pretty much 99% there for our GT4 season, and I think everybody's pretty excited about it. So we'll have another good season, and we'll be here, and hopefully get a lot of familiar faces coming back and a lot of new ones to bring in.
Yeah, well, once again, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who's joined the live stream on Twitch or YouTube or however you're watching the Midwest Motorsports stream. Thank you for joining us, and thanks to all the admins that make Midwest Motorsports the great series that it is. And otherwise, keep your eye on the Rivenville Twitch stream, the YouTube channels again, and we'll look for you next week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this week for our Oval Series, and starting in September, maybe a couple of surprise streams as well as we're doing the recruiting races in the future. Thanks for joining us for Colin Huffman and Josh Watt in the booth. Justin Thaler co-commentating today. We are welcome back anytime. I'm James. We're signing off. See you next week.